I wish and pray for Aaron Rodgers' health. All right, I pray that he's healthy and doesn't have any problems or complications from this situation, especially with him being unvaccinated. And that said, what bothers me, maybe even angers me the most, is his deceitfulness. All right, he was just straight out deceitful about this in purposely misleading the media and the public about his vaccination status. You just showed it. Back in August, he's asked if he's vaccinated. First thing he says is, yeah. Okay, so that's a straight up lie. Then he says, I've been immunized. He uses a word that's a synonym for vaccination. I'm sure, I do believe Aaron Rodgers thought he was, clear from COVID, because whatever he's done, whatever, guru he may have seen in Southern California, out in the wilderness, whatever he did to immunize himself, I do believe he thought it was effective. All right, but still, he understood that the question, the way it was asked, that it would appear to everyone that he has been vaccinated officially, like many others, all of us on this show and most in the NFL, and that would clear the whole controversy. And then he triples down when he says there are guys in the locker room on the team who haven't been vaccinated, and I'm not going to judge those guys. So separating himself from this. Yeah. So he clearly went out of his way to make everyone believe he's been vaccinated. The reports are that in the locker rooms and in the facility, he's worn a mask. So I assume his teammates knew he wasn't vaccinated. But most of the other players, Nick, in the league who aren't vaccinated have done their press conferences either via Zoom or with a mask on. And Rodgers has been doing his, in person with no mask. Again, misleading everyone to think that he's not vaccinated. Now, I have enjoyed the transparency that Aaron Rodgers has shown this season. I have felt, like I said it a couple weeks ago, he looks like he's in a great mental space. He talked over the summer about dealing with his mental health. I've been happy for him that he appears to be so happy. But now, this deceitfulness that we've just witnessed throws all of that into question. And it just comes off as phony. And there's no other way to say it.
Yeah, how could it not? How could it not? But I agree with basically everything you said. It was obviously deceitful. Aaron Rodgers knew he would get criticized if he said he was unvaccinated. Now, you can argue he shouldn't be criticized, but he knew he would have been, so he misled everyone. And I don't have the mental bandwidth anymore to try to argue with folks about the efficacy of vaccination. I just don't. What we can all, I think, agree on is, fair or not, the NFL has made it clear, if you test positive for COVID, you are going to be away from your team for a guaranteed longer period of time if you are not vaccinated than if you are vaccinated. We also know you are more likely to contract COVID if you are not vaccinated than if you are vaccinated. Those are just objective facts. One's an NFL rule, one is verifiable by any metric out there. So by making the choice not to get vaccinated, you are making the choice to put your availability to the team at risk. And Wildes, we have a long history of expecting quarterbacks in particular to be available for their teams. There's a great tweet. Can we show it? Joe Flacco, fresh off winning a Super Bowl. This is the opening of the next season. Ravens tweet. Joe Flacco's wife gave birth. The couple's child 30 minutes ago. Flacco will play today versus the Browns. NFL reporter says, oh my God, was he there? No, he was warming up. We got a big game to play against the 2013 Browns. Can't be without Flacco. He knows where his bread is buttered. Wildes, I don't want to boil down a complicated subject to something simple, but there is a level of the best abilities, availability. And Aaron Rodgers made the choice to put his availability at risk, to put the 1 seed at risk, to put a Super Bowl appearance at risk. All of it. because he chose not to be vaccinated. Just like, by the way, Kyrie Irving has put the Nets' ability to compete for a championship at risk because he's choosing not to get vaccinated. And even though I've always been a fan of Rodgers and I've been critical of Kyrie, I'm not going to sit here and after the way we talked about Kyrie, act like Rodgers is some special case. He's not. He's not. And he was actually less straightforward about it than Kyrie was.
Right. Yeah. I mean, say what you want about Kyrie, but he never tried to purposely mislead the media. Even before the decision was made for him to go on IG Live, he was at that outdoor game wearing a mask, and he was the only one. So it was pretty obvious what his stance was on this the whole time. And Broussard, I agree with you. The yeah and then using a synonym, that doesn't work at all. It was obviously deceitful. If I was accused of robbing a bank and they say, hey, did you rob the bank? And I said, yeah, I'm rich now. I'm like, whoa, I just made some investments. Some people rob banks, some people don't. It's obviously he was trying to be deceitful. But here's the other thing I think it shows. I'm going to move forward to the game now, stay on the field. It shows a confidence that I didn't think he had, that he's not going to be Wally pipped, right? Because now we get a real chance on the game of the week to see what Jordan Love can do. And we have seen people be Wally pipped, most famously, Wally Pipp himself. So we saw Matt Flynn, who had a great game, got signed by the Seahawks. He lost his job to Russell Wilson. We just saw Mike White come out of nowhere like, hold on, is Zach Wilson your quarterback of the future or not? Most famously, Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe is no slouch, the $100 million guy, face of the franchise. What do you think the opportunity is for Jordan Love to Wally Pipp Aaron Rodgers right now, Broussard?
Well, look, if that happens, and I'm not expecting it, Jordan Love to go out there and be great, but if that were to happen, I honestly don't know how upset Aaron Rodgers would be. Obviously, Rodgers would continue to be the quarterback this season, and maybe he leads them to a Super Bowl or the NFC title game again. But if that were the case, Wildes, I think that just enables Rodgers to leave, which he may want to do anyway after the season, and go to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Denver, wherever he might want to go. So I don't think it would really bother Rodgers that much.
Life's not always fair, and I think the opposite is more likely to happen. That in a weird way, Rodgers gets vindicated by this whole thing, even if it shouldn't have ever come to this, which is the Packers have won 7 in a row. They just won without their receivers. Jordan Love comes in, a struggling Chiefs team beats them, and then Rodgers swoops into the rescue, fresh off his, COVID quarantine, and he gets to be the hero again. I just, Jenna, don't know why he couldn't have been straightforward about it from the very beginning.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.